You sound good on that horn, Thara. We're sitting here with Thara Memory today. Welcome, Thara.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you can be here.
Thank you. I'm glad I could do this.
Yes,
Really.
sir. Thara has been a friend of the shop and a friend of mine for going on 30 years from when I lived in Oregon the first time, 78 to 81.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Thara and I spent much time together back then, but I used to go hear him all the time. Thara's kind of the local star jazz trumpet player in Portland and a former student of Bill Fielder.
Yeah.
And
I don't know about former. You were always a student of Bill Fielder.
isn't that how it is?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So to let people know just a little bit about you, Thara, if they're not familiar with you and your career and that kind of stuff, you've played with a bunch of big names. You played with Natalie Cole, Joe Williams, James Brown, Eddie Harris. You played with Arturo Sandoval.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and on top of all the playing here, you've been teaching in Portland. You've been teaching for over 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the amazing thing, Portland, Oregon, here we are, and your bands the last 3 years, 2007, 2008, and 2009, your bands have won the Ellington competition in New York, first place in the conglomerate category the last 3 years. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's
Yeah,
just amazing.
That's right, Dave.
That's amazing. And you have students at Juilliard with full scholarships, Berkeley, the New School, Manhattan School of Music. Your
Right.
students are going out.
Right.
They're killing it. So, and Thara, next week, you're on your way to New York City to record with Esperanza, who, when she recently played at the White House just a month or two ago, was introduced as the fastest rising jazz star on the scene today. And you're recording with her next week in New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah. She was my student from 8 years old.
Wow.
So, yes. We started her in the community music program when she was 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and she had significant talent then, and so I got this call, and she says, "Okay, I'm getting ready to do my next CD, and I want you to help me with it. You know, do the arranging and please play on it. You know."
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Yeah."
Oh, this sounds fun.
By the time the old man got a break.
Well, Thara, so you're going to go to New York and play on the album, and you're holding a horn that a lot of people haven't seen a horn that looks like that before.
Well,
Can you
yeah.
tell us just a little bit about this special left-handed horn we made for you and what's up with it?
Well, it's left-handed and it's very special. You see where the third valve is? That's because it fits my pinky finger. I actually play third valve with my pinky because due to my kidney failure, I have had amputation on my right hand of 2 fingers, so I could no longer play with my right hand. And so we spent a while adapting the 993 so that I could play left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I figured out how to play left-handed, the horn was built. So it took about the same amount of time. What, about 8-9 months?
Something like that.
Yeah. And so the information finally transferred over. So now I just have to, practice
Mm-hmm.
every day or as much as I can
Mm-hmm.
just to get a lot of that back. But the horn is incredible. The workmanship, the way it performs, and the sound, which is what I'm most picky about.
I remember you told us that you wanted a horn that was as light as possible, but with a bigger sound than
Yeah.
any of the real lightweight horns that we make.
Right.
So we
Right.
did some unusual stuff with it. We had fun making it, and we love how you sound on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thara, would you talk to us just a little bit about more detail on your medical condition?
Well, about 4 years ago, I lost the use of my kidneys. The horn is, as I say, it allows me to play with the left hand. And even though I have one amputation on the left hand, hopefully there won't be any more. but I've been on dialysis for about 4 years, and what I need is a donor, a kidney donor,
Mhm.
to get as close back to your system working in regular order.
Can you just explain a little bit of what happens with your fingers, why you've lost your fingers, and
Well, your circulation goes, especially when you lose a kidney. Then if you're diabetic, it ramps all the way up. And you lose circulation in your extremities. And in my particular case, there were actually some things in my vascular system that were actually missing at birth. So that made it even worse. And so when they put a catheter in you to clean your blood, the circulation starts going in a different direction. And so the extremities, that happened with my hand and a lower leg and the toes on the left foot, were gone. You literally get gangrene, and
Wow.
yeah, you have to amputate in order to save your life.
you told me earlier that with the dialysis you have one day where you can function and then another day where you're just so sick.
You have 1 day on and 1 day off.
One day on and one day off.
Yeah,
And that's the way it is. It's perpetual.
it's perpetual.
Until you find a donor.
Yeah, there's somebody, if it hits them in their heart to do this thing, you can tell the donor that they will be like off from work for about like 2 weeks.
So the donors will be out of it for 2 weeks.
Nowadays they do it laparoscopic. I can't even say the word.
Oh, laparoscopically or?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and so they don't make incisions anymore.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
So the recovery is rather fast.
Thara, the last 3 years, this just blows my mind. The last 3 years in a row, your bands have won the Ellington competition. And these are with kids. Tell us about the school. Where are you teaching?
I'm at Da Vinci Middle School. We're in residence at Da Vinci Middle School for the arts, which is over in Northeast Portland.
Uh-huh.
And I just take kids from anywhere, and everywhere, and teach them the old way that I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
David Baker, who we call the father of jazz education, is a real fan of my bands
Mm-hmm.
in the style that I teach. The gentleman who was the pops conductor here heard our bands, and he said that it sounded really old and mature.
Uh-huh.
It was a bunch of old musicians, and that's the way I wanted to sound,
Mm-hmm.
as if it's part of the jazz tradition going forward.
Mm-hmm. Thara, I want to thank you again. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for playing our horns.
Yeah. And the horn does sound good. Yeah, I gotta give you that.
You make it sound good, Thara.